We have musical arts, we have written art, and in this case, this is visual. And so our guest this month, as you know, is Marcia Maltz. And Marcia said she's been a Meher Baba lover since 1994, which was when she made her first visit to India. Prior to that, she saw a huge portrait of Meher Baba in an art supply warehouse in Chicago in 1971. Since then, she's made 2 more trips to India and very many to Myrtle Beach. She's listened to many YouTube videos of stories about the people fortunate to have met Baba while in his physical form. And she's always listening to wonderful music and reading books written by Baba, and am surrounded by his photographs. She paints every day, and she's fortunate to be one of Meher Baba's paintbrushes. She was born in Chicago and graduated from Roosevelt University with a degree in art education. She taught art for 32 years, and during that period of time was fortunate to receive a master's degree in liberal education from St. John's College in Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1988. She has taken many classes at the School of the Art Institute in Chicago. Currently, she's attending Zoom watercolor classes online from the Chicago Botanical Garden. After retiring from teaching art, she has been studying at the Lilith Street Art Center with the focus on transferring her images to functional and figurative sculpture using hand building techniques. And she's learning to paint digitally on an iPad and is in the process of attempting to design a website, which she considers a great challenge. So Marcia appreciates the opportunity of sharing her art with all of you. And please go ahead, Marcia.
Great. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Ooh, wow.
Let me unmute. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you, all of you, for coming to be here when I'm doing this. I'm kind of nervous and excited about it. I have a lot of work, so it's hard for me to choose what to show today. So I'm going to start with paintings that I made of Meher Baba. So let me find that. And I'm going to do a slideshow, and I can stop at any time and blow things up. And then if you have any questions, maybe at the end, it would be good if we had time for that. We'll do that at the end, but let me get my pencil out here. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna flip back. Wait. Okay. This is a painting that I did when you walk. Maybe I'm not gonna do a slideshow and I'll just do them. Hold on. Let me stop this. Hold on a minute. It wants to do what it wants to do. Okay. Okay, I hope it doesn't do anything. All right, this is, it's a part of a collage. I cut the part, usually I paint Meher Baba, but I wanted it to be perfect. So I stole this photograph and then I tried to paint it in so that it would look like a part of the picture. And this is like way back in the back is the gate to go to Seclusion Hill. So I look at these pictures a lot when I've been doing this. So let me know kind of if you want me to move on or if you're still looking, or I don't know. I'll go to the next one. 'cause I have quite a bit. This is from the ceiling in the Samadhi. I took a photograph of it and then I turned it into a painting. And over here is a rose, because I always think of Baba and roses. And this image here is, I think of Baba as being pivotal and he sees everything all at once, you know, so that's him and everything. And when I started it, I think I thought about circles and, you know, like 10 circles, and this is what ended up happening. But I really love color. My favorite thing is color, you know, so yeah. This is a painting of Mayor Baba.
Do you have the pictures on auto forward, Marcia?
I have a slideshow, but I think it should work now. It's supposed to be timed at 15 seconds. I was going to do them at 4, but it was too fast. So I might just stop them, but let's just see what happens. I think it should be working now. This is one of my favorite pictures that I see. It's kind of moving along now. Let me turn it. It should be this way. This is I cut this picture out, you know, but I don't know if I should tell you those things. This Baba kind of in the moon. This I did, and I did this a long time ago. The paper came from, oh, let me flip back, the wrong way. Let me see here. Let me stop this. Okay, no, this is not what I wanted to happen. Okay, stay here. Stop. These are like, this is Baba, but all his eyes and features and all that are like, you look at it. I'll be quiet.
Wow.
It's handmade paper, and I look at the grain of the paper, and I don't even have an idea when I start. I'll just look at the grain because it looks like I got the paper from Amrit, you know, in India when I went in 1994. And I would look at the paper and I thought, oh, that looks like hair or fibers. And so that would bring the image out, because I used to paint on wood also. And so I'm more into what's in the surface of the paper, and then the images kind of pop out. And then I'll see something and then I'll bring it out more. But that's why I say I'm a Baba's paintbrush, because I don't even know. I just know he does everything, you know? So, yeah. This is a recent, when I was doing the watercolor class, that's my most recent painting of Baba. This is done on the iPad in notes with a Apple pen. And it's kind of like the trees, you know, he's in the trees and everywhere. So, you know, that's how that happened. But sometimes I see things in there after that I didn't even know are there. So,
Marcia, would you prefer people to wait to ask you questions, or is it okay if they ask questions as we go
I
along?
guess if they want to, I don't care, because I have a lot of work, but I chose to show paintings of Mayor Baba and then paintings from photographs of places in India. And then I have some things from Myrtle Beach. So I have quite a bit of artwork, but if somebody really wants to ask me something, I'm cool with whatever happens, you know. I don't really have a plan. So, you know, if you want, let me know if you want me to go faster, slower. You know, this is my first time doing anything like this. So it's, maybe I'll get better at it. But anyway, I'll move on. This is Myrtle Beach, I think. And there's Baba down here in the corner. And I kind of like that. I painted that myself. It's not cut out. Okay. Maybe it would be good if somebody said something, because I don't know if anybody, maybe it's good, I don't know. Anyway, this is another one like that, but this picture is Baba kind of looking in the woods, and it's the rainbow. And when I
It's
paint
so vibrant. The colors are so vibrant, and oh, it's just magical.
oh, thank you.
Look at the trees. My goodness. And just how everything is moving. Oh, and there's Baba in the corner. Beautiful.
Marcia, I really like the one you did where the birds were the features of Baba's face. I thought, I didn't say anything but except for wow. But
Oh,
Well, I can go back to them later, and I can also send them to you digitally. I know how to share them now, so I can send you whatever you want. But, I'll post stuff later, because this
Yeah.
for me was like just getting me out of the closet. You know,
Ah.
I'm painting all these
Is
pictures.
this
and-
watercolor? This
Yeah,
is
this is
watercolor.
watercolor. Yeah.
Ah,
Whenever I see an image like a cardinal or a rabbit or a duck, it becomes a part of what I've got. Let me straighten this out. It becomes a part of what I can paint. It's like my vocabulary is whatever Baba shows me, then it's mine to put in there, So this is like, I'm into like flowers and color, My father and mother, and my father was a salesman, but he like always painted. He was a fan. He would do all the help, everybody I lived in a building with my cousins, and he would be doing everybody's artwork and helping people. And my mom, I didn't know till she was in her 80s that she could paint. And she was wonderful with color, but I said, well, why didn't you ever tell us that you could paint? She said, well, I didn't want to compete with you and your father. So I didn't know till she was older, it was kind of weird. I like this one too. I did not paint that, I have to be honest, but I figured sometimes you want Baba to look perfect, so. Yeah.
But the background is gorgeous. Those flowers. Did you paint that?
Oh yeah, I painted everything. The only thing that I did was on a couple of them, cut his head out and put it in. I beheaded him. Okay. See, like this is, I sent these to the center for your art sale. I don't know whatever happened to them. There's a set of 4 of them. So for Rush Day, I sent them to be donated, but I don't know if they're in a box somewhere or whatever, or if anybody. Yeah.
Mm.
But I really like these, and this is some, I have watercolors that are gold, and I love color. This is I had a dream. Do you want me to, I had a dream when I was young, and I never even thought about it being Baba, but I was like holding hands with someone, and I was so real. And now looking at it years later, I said, I think that Baba, I was flying with him. So this is part of a whole series of sketches that I made prior to, painting, doing a sculpture. So this is kind of like, evolution of, consciousness. Down here, there's like fish, if you look in here, there's a face over here and fish. So these things pop out to me when I'm working. So I don't really have a plan per se, I just kind of start. And,
What is that thing that looks like a softball?
the moon.
Oh,
Now, since I've got the iPad, I could go back into notes and fix it. But all of a sudden I realized I'll go back and be fixing all my pictures, and then I won't be doing anything new. So I'm holding that later, and I might fix it so it doesn't look like a softball. But Baba liked to play ball and marbles and things, so maybe he wanted it to look like a softball. Who knows? But like here, he's kind of swimming, in the sky, and now this was the first sketch I made for my sculpture. This is me holding on to his diamond. And when I was in Myrtle Beach, I saw the osprey. And so I came back, and this was part of my dream, was looking over water and seeing this like Taj Mahal thing, So I mean, it's not realistic, but it was kind of like just what happened. And it's got a pen and ink in there.
that is amazing.
Yes, it is.
So I watch ospreys all the time on explore.org. And I love ospreys.
So creative, so very creative.
Oh
Well,
my,
this was another part of the sketch. I wanted to include them all because it's Baba on the bird and in, in the sky, and just,
wow.
and then here's like, I have a lot of images that are like at his lotus feet, they're like little Buddha things that pop in there.
Mhm.
Well, it reminds me of the Conference of the Birds. So there's a whole history about, Lori Bloom used to do
Yes.
tons of birds, and it reminds me of all of that as well.
I was lucky to be in India when she was there, and I got to look at all her pictures, and she was wonderful. I actually have a picture of her walking to the Samadhi that I'm going to show later.
Oh,
So here's Baba on top too. So he's all over. He's in the wings, everything's in the wings. Since everything's like, we're all the same, but this is Baba in the moon, obviously.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
I really like this one. This is one of my favorites.
What? That's Baba too.
Yeah, these are all Baba.
So is he like the center of the flower in that one?
Well, he's the center of everything, but he's coming out of the flower, and here's the sun, and he's in the universe. It's like, I don't know, it's like I said to myself, what am I going to say about these? I don't know. They're just kind of like, that's why I said I decided recently to call myself a paintbrush, one of many Baba's paintbrushes. Just like all of you are wonderful musicians, he gave me this gift, so I'm like lucky, I like this one. The problem is that I don't want to say I like my work, but I blame it on him because it's his. So. But this is him in the sky. See, he's like, yeah. And then here's another bird. The birds. And this is like, I'm always wanting to see deer, and things. So real ones, and I haven't. So I kind of, that's from my mind, abstract.
It looks like a llama to me.
Maybe. I don't know what's in the middle here. I haven't seen that lately. I have to open it up and look.
Looks like Baba's face.
Really? I didn't see that,
There's the eye and the nose and.
Wait. Let me look at it let me zoom out a little bit. I don't see it. Oh yeah, right here. Is that what you're talking about? Like right over in here, the face. Yeah.
He's looking to the left. So you see
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah. I don't know if I saw it when I painted it. I don't remember, When I taught school for 32 years, I'd get up in the middle of the night and paint every night. And then I'd go to school and I would fall asleep during meetings because I was so tired. This has to do with the 10 circles, and then I think about the mandalay when I paint stuff. And I always think about numbers like 3, 5, 7, and I don't know. And I used to draw this image here all the time. It's kind of like a tree that I think, and I think about it as, because I'm Jewish, I think about the burning bush, and Moses talking to God. So that's maybe why that gets in there. I don't know. Yeah. And he's holding a flower here, flowers. Yeah. Okay, this is, I looked at this, I said, is that a marijuana leaf? I don't know, but that's
so cute.
Yeah, now this is on the paper that I got from Amrit. So if you look close, you see these little fibers in here? So that's what influenced the drawing, is looking at those fibers.
What's the dog?
That's my dog, Lucy. That's Lucy. She has a heart on her forehead. And Baba had a dog, Chomp. I have a picture of him because I think my dog is Chomp come back. I think he sent me Chomp. I don't know. I'll show you the picture. It looks just like her. My other dog passed and I wasn't going to get another dog. And then I looked at her and I fell in love with her. And then I saw the heart on her forehead. She has a heart. So I said, oh, Baba wants me to have this dog. So I got her. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And your dog is Lucy, that's her name?
Yeah, the one that's always sitting next to me with it looks like a cow. This is Baba right here in the middle. If you want to look at him without me talking, I don't know what you want me to do. So
it's great when you talk about it and talk about how you thought them up, the material you use, how you did it, painting in the middle of the night, any of those things.
Okay, these here are like infinity, so I'm into like doing this figure here, because of yin yang and, positive and negative. And he's in here and he's kind of like holding everything up, supporting everything. And that's about it for that one that I think. Let me see if I see anything more. I think there's more birds down here. See, there's some birds here. They're kind of, wait, cancel. Okay. Okay. Here's another one with him. See if it sees it better this way. He's riding a bird. And then there's another bird. I guess I was into a lot of birds here. So, but this is pen and ink. The thing about pen and ink is you can't really correct it. So sometimes images change because I'm trying, like maybe I didn't draw the hands good, or something didn't work right. So maybe someday I'll go back, but I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, this was a series. Then they look like that, all four of them together. This was my favorite one here.
That's lovely.
The top one looks very mystical.
Yeah, that's why I put it at the top. When I put them together, I thought I always, like this album, I went through it like 10 times trying to put them in the order that I wanted them to be in, which was quite interesting task learning how to do that. I showed you this one already, yeah. And here's I don't think I showed you this one. Where did he go?
It reminds me of Baba in the beyond
Here.
state coming into creation as creator, like
Yeah. The bottom one is the one where Baba looks mischievous. That picture where he's kind of like got that look in his eye. He looks like a magician, or like Merlin or something. I have it in a picture right in front of me. Okay. This is Baba like in the orchestra, the universe. So he's like leading the picture show. And then here's like the snake from the garden, the snake, and there's the alligator I saw in Myrtle Beach over there. There he is. And then there he is. And I always try to see, whenever I see a cardinal, they go by so fast, but yeah. And
Baba looks like he's dancing.
yeah, he is. He's kind of like flowing and orchestrating, and he's happy. This is new. It doesn't exactly look like Baba, but it's kind of just symbols that I think, like I always think about the sun and then a square around it and triangles and the moon. And, I always see the moon, the crescent moon with what is it, Venus there, and these was supposed to be 7, I think it's 7 circles. And it's just, this is the top of his head. So I feel like I do Tai Chi, and when I do Tai Chi, you breathe in through your nose and out through your toes, and you breathe in positive energy and breathe out negative energy. And it's kind of like, I think about the head opening up like a lotus flower, so it's kind of, and then he has a lotus flower in his hands, so. Okay, that's the end of that one. So then I have, go back. Close. Okay, I'm going to show you now. Where are you?
Marcia, it's Diane. How are you?
Okay. Do you have a
Um,
question while I'm looking for my
I
folder?
do, and that's why I thought I would butt in right now.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know this answer, but do you sell things?
I used to do art shows, and I haven't sold anything since the pandemic because I don't want to do shows anymore. But anything that you see here that you just want me to send you a digital image, I'll just give it to you. I don't care about money,
I was
But then
afraid you'd say that.
Well, but no, here's the thing. I printed a sheet that I'm going to post. I thought about, I have so many paintings and I've been donating them. And I thought, well, maybe I could donate them, or if anybody wanted to buy a particular picture, they could buy it. And then I have like 5 different groups of where I would put the money, you know what I mean? So it will sell things, yeah. And I also will sell just a reproduction, maybe for $10 just to cover shipping and paper. So, but an original is a little more money and it depends on how attached I am. But usually I've just been charging minimal because I want to, I'm in it now. I'm retired. I'm okay financially and I just want them to not be thrown away. I had a neighbor, I can talk about this later because I want to show the pictures, you know, I don't want to spend time, you know, you can talk to me later if you see something you like. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Oh, this, I wasn't going to show this yet, but I'll do it real quick. These are pictures that I took when I was in India. That's not what I was going to show now, though. We'll have patience. If you want to ask another question, I'm going to go back to what I wanted to show. Looking for paintings from India. Hope it didn't disappear. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, this was this is when I first went to India in 1994. The first thing I saw were the banyan trees, you know, driving up. So I drew that. Yeah. And this is Seclusion Hill.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to look at it? Let me know when you want me to go on. Somebody yell at me or something, because I don't see you. I'm just seeing the pictures, you know. This is one of my favorite, you know. It kind of like seems to me like it has the stars in it, you know, and it's just, and it's not the same as the original because you lose some of it, you know. This is when you go into the Seclusion Hill, the gate. So I painted this from a photograph that I took when I was there.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
You like it?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I have this one. Some of them I don't have anymore, but I always scan everything and photograph everything. So I have a complete, you know, thing.
Is that the entrance to Marathon?
Yeah, no, to Seclusion Hill, there's a gate when you go in to go to Seclusion Hill.
That is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank Baba, I didn't do it. This is on the road when you go to the Samadhi for my first trip. So I have a bunch of photographs. This was in 1994. I still have this one. This is another one of Seclusion Hill. Let's see if I see anything. You never know till you go up close what's in there.
Awesome. I mean, the colors are so beautiful.
Is that the same one? Okay.
Marcia, so peaceful.
When I was there the first
Amazing.
time, I like to garden. So I was like picking flowers so that they would keep flowering. So everywhere I went, I was like helping garden, you know. I like to garden, so that was part of my thing, like taking flowers. So this I like too. I have this one. Isn't it pretty? Yeah. I can't even believe now that I painted these, you know, that's how I feel about them, you know, so I don't take any credit. It's just,
Where is that one?
that's in back going, it was like, I used to get up to try to catch the sun. So I think it was the sun coming up on the way to the Samadhi, but it was the first time before they had the new Pilgrim Center. So it was the original, you know, yeah.
Wow.
This is another one. I made a whole series of these.
Wow.
Okay, I went to the Lower Caves, and this is Sai Baba's cave, way up there on the top, up there. And there's stuff down here. I'm looking to see if there's anything hidden in there.
You mean the where he got God realization, like miles from the Elora caves, right?
Right. We stopped at all these different places. You know, we had a guide and we
Mhm.
climbed up there and we got up there and I actually went inside, but everybody was in a hurry and I didn't want to come out and I bumped my head in there. It was like, ow. This is the Allure Caves and it was like monsoon. I was there in July because I was a teacher then, so I could only go for short visits. So my wish was to go there and stay a couple months, but that never happened. So anyway, I guess we get what we're supposed to get.
You took photographs and then you painted, or it's just
Yes, I'm always photographing because I know I won't remember, you know. So I'll look at the photograph, but I don't look at the photograph all the time. I'll refer back to it if I'm stuck. And when I paint on 3, 4 things at once because with watercolor, you can kill it real easily. If you don't know what to do and you don't stop, you can mess up. So I always paint on a few things at once, you know what I mean? And then I have to look at it and it doesn't all come like I have to, like at first when I was doing this, I wasn't thinking that Baba was painting for me. I was just, painting, I didn't know. This is from one of the caves. It's my thing from a Buddha picture I took. So, and there's a heart on his sleeve. Yeah.
Is that from the giant Buddha cave that Baba said was
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
In
I have those-
the previous picture, was that a waterfall that was at the Elora?
Yes, there was water coming down. It was a time where there was a lot of rain, so there was water pouring down. The first time I went, it was very plush, and the second time I went was in 2004 for Silence Day, and that's where I went when I actually, I had a really great interaction with Mani. I can tell you later about it. The last time I went in 2009, I took a painting class with Sharon Muir, and she gave us pictures from National Geographic, and I chose this elephant picture. So I put that in there because I kind of liked it.
These are lovely, Marcia. These are just
Give me
stunning.
a gauge about how much time I have, so I can always go back later. I can meet with you people later if you want to see stuff, or I can do another thing, but I'm kind of trying to show you most of them, so we can go back if we have time. Or
We have about 15 minutes and then we can have some questions for a few
okay, so I
minutes.
15 minutes for pictures. Okay, good. Okay, this is another one. I'm not gonna spend too much time. It was at the class. And these are all from elephant, I think I did that at home, but you can't really see the color, but there's a lot of gold in there, Yeah. I like that one. I think I gave it for a birthday present for a baby or something. And this is the elephant thing, the first time I went in 1994, I was by the railroad track and a caravan came along with camels and all these people. And it was like so magical with monkeys and okay, I'll finish with this. I tried to keep them short, like not too many. Okay.
That's gorgeous.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you Myrtle Beach paintings. I have really great eyes here. Paintings of animals. Okay, this one has a lot of pictures, so I'm gonna, that's my book. I made a book. That's not the one. Okay, this is, see, here's a whole thing of them, So I'll start with that one. This was a series of 3 paintings, How do I get that? I don't want it to I want to just get the picture. Okay. This is, I really like this picture. It's like the moon, and then it was I think that was Venus, and then there was a another planet down there. I don't have this anymore, but I have the digital. This is like looking up at trees, and I think it's probably in my mind because I really love Georgia O'Keeffe. And when I went to school, I was lucky when I went to school in New Mexico. I went for 3 summers when I was teaching, and I got to go to Abiquiu. And I actually, when my daughter was born in 1978, we took a trip there, and I saw her sitting in a pickup truck, but I didn't know who she was then. So I actually saw Georgia. Well, anyway, this is going to Seclusion Hill, kind of like up here, and that's the path, like, when you go down the road with all the trees. But they're kind of abstract. There's all this pen and ink work in here. This is Myrtle Beach, the dancing trees. Like the first time, couple times I went there, when I was walking on the road to the beach, the trees were like dancing, So that's my kind of feeling about it, that they were alive, I love this one. This is like, the trees are like people,
Amazing.
It's like a giant tree orchestra, It's like, I'm so in love with nature, I guess everybody is, but I'm so glad I moved out of the city. I got a chance now in this later part of my life to be out of the city, and Baba put me right where I wanted to be. I got lucky. Now this here, I think there's like a little creature over there. Could be a snake. I don't know. Oh, here's something up here is a rabbit. See? So I looked at the fibers and I saw the animal, and there's birds up in here.
Colors are so delightful.
This is in back of the library, when you're looking out the window when you're in Myrtle Beach. And I tried to catch, how when the sun hits the water, and you can never catch what Baba does with nature, but it's my impression. I did. Right, actually, now I've learned a technique where it might work, where I can catch the sparkling water, but I haven't tried it yet. It's like, that's why I'm taking this botanical garden master class with this really famous teacher, and all of a sudden he's showing me how to put salt on the paint and how to use. Sometimes I'm painting with a razor blade and scraping away stuff. It's really kind of weird. And this reminds me of, like, when you're a caged bird and you're free and you don't want to go back to the cage. So I'm hoping I don't ever have to go back. So it's kind of like freedom, like. This is another creature one. It's kind of funny. Fun. So I think about, the fish, and there's another image here, but I don't know what it is actually.
What is that animal to the left?
I think it's a big, this is kind of like, it could be like, I don't know, but his tail I see made a heart. I didn't even see that before. Probably like, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's, I can't even think about it now. I don't know. I know this is a rabbit, but maybe, I don't know. Not a squirrel, that's for sure. This was supposed to be like a lion, but it was really gold, and it kind of lost it in the transition. But it looks like there's a figure over here too, but I shouldn't tell you. You should. The thing about art is that when I've been working now, I try to leave things open so that you can use your imagination, and I don't have to tell everybody what they, everybody should see what they see, So I should be quieter. And you can ask me later. This is though Seclusion Hill. This.
Is that more of Amrit's paper? Or no?
No, this looks like rice paper. I don't see any fiber. But this is a
Lovely.
series. I painted all these at once, So you can see on this one, the gold showed up pretty nice, Yeah.
Beautiful, Marcia.
Well, I like this one a lot. I like doing a lot of pen work, and this is a reoccurring thing that once I start doing them, I can't stop, When I taught school, I didn't realize for years, I taught everybody how to do texture and how to do different drawing techniques and about the golden rectangle. And I forgot after retiring that I had been a teacher, you know what I mean? So looking back at taking this art class that I'm doing and looking at my work, I realized that, everything kind of stays inside you like a recorder, There's another animal down here. My daughter, I gave this to her for her birthday.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
What is it?
I see Bob up in the tree.
Here's the sun up here. Okay, let's start with the sun. And then all these were like, there's birds down here. And then I just got carried into the trees, you know what I mean? The trees and the leaves. And I just kept going with my pen. And I just found my pen. I had a pen, really fancy fountain pen that my husband gave me, and it was gold. And when I went to India the first time, I hid it when I left, and I just found it before I moved, and I put it in a bank box. Then the bank closed, and now I finally have my pen back. That's funny, but I haven't had that pen since like 1977. It's like funny, so it came back. I love this. I think about when I was in Myrtle Beach in India the first time I saw a peacock, and I just kind of like. So this one now I can touch up in Lightroom. I've got this in Adobe Lightroom, so I can adjust all the colors, and have versions of it. But I didn't want to touch anything now because I would have spent all my time touching up my pictures. And I said, that's the thing, I don't want to go there, But this is like a close-up of a different one. This is a watercolor from Myrtle Beach. This was from Baba's birthday in Myrtle Beach. I went to the restaurant and the sun was coming up over the near the restaurant where the Sufi Center is. I forget the name of it, but it looked like a giant light bulb, the sun. So, and this is from Myrtle Beach. This is the paper. This is Amrit's paper. See the fibers? Yeah. It's a cardinal I saw at Myrtle Beach or somewhere. This is from the forest. I really like this one. It's got there's this little creature in a tree.
Wow.
This is from Myrtle Beach. I saw this when I went to wash my laundry by the cabin on the hill. I believe there's a washing thing there or whatever. And this snake came out and grabbed the snake, and it was like grabbed it and it was gone. It was like, so. This is another one of Baba's birthday. This kind of looks like Baba here, but it's abstract, so I don't know if it is or not, but I think, yeah. So that's the end of that. I really quickly, you have a choice. I can show you some of the photos that I worked from or the abstract pictures that I really like from Myrtle Beach the last time I went. It's up to you.
Abstract pictures.
Okay, hold on.
We're looking at about 2 more minutes or so.
Okay, I'm just gonna show the spreadsheet then real quick.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so let me see, there's another view, but I don't know how to get it. Okay, so this is like, this I posted a long time ago. I donated it. It's a circle of 10, you know? And I'll just get as far as I get and I can always do another, you can look at them later. This is Baba like commanding the, you know, like the creation, you know, kind of like, I think. But anyway, this is like the sun coming up. This is like when it first started, you know, the universe. Like everything opening up.
Say on point.
Yeah, over here.
Wow.
That's like the third, you know, over there, you know, and then I do Tai Chi, so I don't know if that's me doing Tai Chi or I have no clue. This is, I like this is whimsical. It's like, you know, this is like, you know, a bubble. And when you go into the bubble, you can climb up and finally reach the God realization or the goal, hopefully sometime. And these were just, it's not that I like it. Yeah, just painting.
Have you changed your method with these abstract? Or is this still watercolor or is this pen or both?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Everything's different. Like when I do something from the botanic garden class, I'll look at a flower and then I'll put the flower away and then I'll go back and look at it. But sometimes I'll just like start with a thing and I don't really, it just goes and I don't have a plan, you know, and then as I look at it, if I make a mistake, I might cover something up, you know, because before you didn't have digital, you couldn't correct things as easily, you know? So things kind of just, I try to make it as, I'm fanatical. I try to make things as perfect. I'm not finished till I'm finished, you know what I mean? And everything has to be the right way, which sounds kind of weird, but go back here. Anyway, should I stop now? I think that's the end. So you can have time to ask me some questions if you want or go back.
sure.
Okay. This is really kind of, I'll just show you. See in the center, there's the image. To me, that's the creator in the center or the own point, you know? And then I did like a certain amount of circles, you know, like 10, I don't remember, I think it was 7. And then I was thinking about the Mandalay when I did it, and the people around Baba, and these are all flowers, so yeah. I gave that to my doctor because I thought that was a good thing for him to have a nice picture on his wall. Okay, so how do I find you guys so you can see me, or do you want me just to direct me back to a picture that you want to see? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Anybody have any questions?
I'd just like to see a bigger version of the one that's in the bottom row. It has like, looks like poppies or maybe sweet peas.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Thank you.
Wow.
Is it poppies?
Looks like sweet peas.
They have no name, but I always think about the flowers that were right now there's these red flowers all over the trees, and then also in India the bougainvilleas, is that what you call them, those pink flowers that are all over? And I just like doing little leaves, and each leaf is either 7 or 10 or 5 or 3. It's like, do you want to see any other ones? See, I got the thing on the bottom here so you can just slide them along.
That's pretty.
I can show you the photographs real quick because I put together this really nice album of what influenced me. Okay, so this was the samadhi that I took, and then this is inside the samadhi, and then that's the ceiling picture that I used for the painting. And this is Seclusion Hill. I think this is a really nice picture, isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You were there in the rain, rainy season.
That was 1994. I told you, I swear I saw peacocks. This
What
is up
month?
at the top of the hill by Seclusion Hill where Baba was in there, I think. It was very windy up there. And this is a close, further away picture.
What month were you there, Marcia?
I was there in 1994 for Silence Day, and then in 2004 for Christmas, and 2009 for Armatithi.
Oh, gosh.
That's Baba's. This is what Baba's room looked like when I went, and this is from his bedroom. And that's the dog. That looks like my dog. Doesn't she kind of resemble my dog? Yeah, right?
It's
Yeah.
Chunk. It's
Yeah.
Chunk.
So I thought Baba sent me Chunk. You know, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, I like started to do a list. So for Mayor Baba's pictures, I like labeled them and I put the size and when I did them, and I made a sheet of like, I'm doing a website, you know, but I did one more thing. I don't know if I can see you, but I'll post it later. But I remember I did a picture the other day when you were doing Artie, and I wrote a poem about how I create. I said, I was listening to music and I was feeling like everybody's always playing music and I really don't sing that much. So I said, listening to the music, the words, stories, the sharing, I started to sketch with nothing on my mind, and then a flash, Scorpio super pink moon. So the moon appeared, followed by the clouds, and one by one, the images stored in my mind emerged, one after the other, onto my painting surface. I began with Caran d'Ache watercolor pencils for this particular painting. The colors popped into my mind one by one. I pay attention to shapes, positive and negative space, and composition. I have no plan initially. I do have to think about where the image is going, allowing space and room for the imagination. I work on several paintings at a time, so I don't know what to do next. I stop. It's easy to do too much. There are remedies for mistakes, though, but that's an art lesson. So I wrote that. I'm just kind of was gathering things to share with you. But I guess that's pretty much. Let me. Hold on. So let me go back to Zoom. So what do I do now? Oh, what time is it? I have no
I
clue.
can take off the sharing screen,
Okay.
I think.
Well, is there anything else anybody wants to ask me or anything to go back to? It's up to you. I don't know. I don't know if I talked too much or too little. Do you want to see the sculpture? You know what I could show before you do that? Do you want to see the sculpture I made from all the pictures that I made in the dream? I've got them. It's a huge.
I like the dream time. There was one you did of the elephants, 2 or 3 before the whole group of elephants. That was really amazing. It was one elephant. And there were
Oh,
a lot-
okay. Do you want me? I actually have the picture here. I can hold it up and show it to you if you want to see it. Would that
Okay.
help? Do you see it better that way? Let me get it. Hold on. Okay, so should I go back to, hold on. Well, this is not in Lightroom, so I think I need to hold it up and you can look at it like how you do that. Let me see. Maybe you should end. Maybe you need to end the screen and I'll hold it up, you know,
Stop. Yeah.
because it's big.
Isn't it your screen, Marcia?
Oh, so what do I do?
It says a red button. Yeah,
I
stop
got
share. There you go. You got
Okay,
it.
I got it. Okay. So here it is here. Okay.
What is it you want, Marcia? What is it that you would like to do?
I just want to show her the picture that she wanted to see, and then I don't.
Okay,
I don't
then
need to do it
we
again.
can go to share. Oh, you want to do it that way? Okay.
I don't know because it's bigger. Can you see it better? I mean, if you
Ooh,
want
that's
me to.
beautiful. Wow. Oh,
If
that's great.
folks, if you would like to see it, you can go up into the right-hand side of your screen, the right-hand corner, and click on speaker view, and that will enable you to see Marcia when she is speaking and showing you that picture.
I actually have a bunch, I don't know about time, but I have a stack of them that I thought you might want to see the original, you know, instead of like looking at the copy, you know, on the thing. So
Oh my gosh.
not, should I have a laptop. Would it be better for me to put it on a laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, let me do my laptop. I'm prepared. It's like, oh my God.
All your paintings are beautiful, Marcia. They're really very mystical and fascinating.
Oh, thank you.
And
No
also
problem.
what you wrote, the narrative you wrote, it would make a fabulous book to have narrative like that next to your paintings.
Yeah, I have to figure it out. I also like music, but I would like people to help me because I want to put together like, you know, things where people could have your music, like you guys sing so beautiful, you know. You needs music, you know, but I'm not a musician, so I need to. Right now, I'm just doing one thing at a time, so I don't know. Bobby made me do this because I wouldn't have done this. If you didn't ask me, I wouldn't have never done this, you know. I always felt when I was very young that I would had something big that I would be working on, but I did not really know what it was. And then when this happened and I got the iPad just before the pandemic hit when I was in Georgia visiting my niece. So I just learned all this, been learning all this stuff that I didn't know how to use it, you know. And you can't go to the Baba store like we used to, you know what I mean, to get help. So it's kind of like I end up pulling my hair out a lot, trying to figure this stuff out. This should just be a minute. I might have some smaller ones I can show you on this one. What's going on right here yet? It's going really slow. I don't know why. You know what? I'm gonna do Google Chrome instead. This is going really slow.
What are you knitting, Gail?
I'm knitting a Clemson orange
Oh,
scarf for my Prince of a Human Being brother-in-law who went to Clemson. So
Oh,
that's he is a wonderful man. So I made him one, but he wanted to double it over and, you know, stick it through. So it needed to be twice as long. So I'm happy to do one twice as long.
I should be in a minute. Yes. Hello. Yes. Okay. 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 Now how do I?
You need to turn your iPad all the way down, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna turn. Okay. Real
if
quick.
you're logging into one, you should probably log out of your other one.
I can see that now. Yeah. Leave. Okay, I got it. Okay. Okay.
I think we saw that one.
Okay. Here's the other, I didn't know if you wanted to see the other elephant one. Let me show you
Wow.
something you didn't see.
That's wonderful.
This is, I didn't put, I had to cut a lot out, you know, but this is, and back, going to the Samadhi, I saw lots of birds, you know.
Looks like ravens.
Yeah, they were there. There were a lot of birds like that. This side, what did I write on the back? This is, come swim in my ocean of love. When you fall prey to your weaknesses, have a swim, dip in the pool of love that I have placed within you. Remember that you will always remain clean. You can
Wash yourself every day.
every day. Eventually your weaknesses will disappear in the pool of love that I have placed within you, Mayor Baba. So this is kind
And Rosalie.
of, thank you. Anyway, you getting tired of this?
That's beautiful, Marcia.
Oh, this is good for little kids.
Oh, sweet.
That's really nice.
Hmm.
I'm going to have to leave. Thank you, Marcia.
Oh, thank you for inviting me and everybody. It's been a
If you
pleasure.
all want to stay, I think I can end my participation and leave you on. There is RT at 9 o'clock. I hope I'm not going to make a mistake when I log out.
You just have to put leave instead of end and assign somebody as host.
Right, and I have done that, thanks. But I only have N showing up, so it's more important for me to hit that one. And then I'm going to leave the meeting, but not end the meeting for everyone else, okay?
Great. Thank you so much. You know,
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all for coming. And I'll see you all, I hope, next month on the first Tuesday. Bye.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Jay Baba.
Marcia, you're going to be the new host.
oh boy. What do I do? Is there any clue here what I should do?
Just give
No,
the
you don't
acronym.
have to do anything. Just end the meeting when you're all ready.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Just keep doing what you've been doing.
Want to see more? I got lots more. If I tell you I could wallpaper a museum, would you believe it?
Yes.
I have boxes of, I've been dropping boxes of paintings off because I figure, here's a sad story, but it's like showed me something. My upstairs neighbor, when I was living in Chicago, he was like a minister and he was really old. And when he passed, they had people come in and clean out his stuff. And I was watching and they were dumping all his writing. He was a pastor.
Oh.
And I grabbed some of his books and things and I read them and I said, wow, this is what happens when you pass. So I said, I've been doing all this artwork and I didn't do all this artwork, so nobody should see it and it should go in the garbage. I said,
Oh, wow. Baba, Baba.
Well, I think I'm gonna need to go too. Just I'll be back, but so
I know you can go get ready for RT.
exactly. Yeah.
I have a meeting.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can, so we can leave, you know, I'm okay if we leave because I could, you know, feed my dog.
You have to.
Oh,
It's
You
only
have
if
to
you
do
tell me to
another
leave.
session, Marcia. Do another session.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
been, I think that was enough for today.
Yeah, it's a nice time.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
very much. Hey, Baba.
it's
Hey,
fabulous.
Baba.
We could do
Thank you
a moment
so
of
much.
Baba.
silence. We could do a moment of silence if they have it.
Okay.
Avatar, Mayor Baba.
Yay, good
Avatar,
job.
Mayor Baba,
Mayor
Ki
Baba,
Jai.
Jai.
Sorry, man.
Avatar,
Mayor
Mayor
Baba,
Baba.
Ki Jai. Thank you, Baba.
Yay.
Thank you
Good
so
job,
much,
Marcia.
Marcia.
Good job.
Beautiful.
Yay. Nice to see you.
See you at RT.
Okie dokie.
Good night, all.
Well,
Okay, bye.
maybe. Thanks, Patty. Thanks, Marcia.
Baba, lovely.
Okay.